Assalamu ala Rasulillah wa ba'd. Continuing on the story of Prophet Musa and the story of the Baqarah. Surah Al-Baqarah is named after this incident. So we talked about the first verse where Prophet Musa, he said, I would never joke about something religion. He said, أعوذ بالله من أن أكون من الجاهلين. قالوا ادع لنا ربك يبين لنا ما هي. So they said to him, ask your Lord to tell us what kind of cow Allah wants us to slaughter. This is the children of Israel, for those of you who were not here yesterday. The children of Israel, the followers of Prophet Musa, there was a murder that took place. They asked him for help. He said, I'm going to make dua to Allah to help solve this murder mystery. And he said, Allah wants you to slaughter a cow. So the response was, he said, are you kidding? You want us to slaughter a cow? So then they asked him, he said, yes, I'm being serious. I'm not going to joke about something like this. So then they asked him another question. They said, okay, what kind of cow does Allah want us to sacrifice? What kind of cow is it supposed to be? And the scholars explained, they said, you know what? If they had not asked the question, they could have simply picked any cow. So many cows around, they could have picked one and any cow would have been fine. But their problem was, they're not asking the question sincerely, out of genuine desire to know. But they're trying to just argue with him. They're trying to just basically make fun of him more and say, what kind of cow does Allah want? There's so many cows out there, give us some direction. And then he gave a direction and he said, you know what? Type of cow that's neither too old nor too young. It's got to be in between. They could have done that, but they didn't do that. Then they asked another question, what color is the cow? There's a lot of cows that are kind of middle-aged. What color is the cow? So then the Prophet Musa made dua to Allah and he came back and said, Allah said, it's a yellow cow. So the first they asked the first question, second they asked the second question. And the scholars say on the second question, there's a reason why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose the color yellow. Because prior to this incident, remember, they were just saved from Fir'aun. The parting of the sea, which is why we're going to be fasting on the day of Ashura on Tuesday, the 10th of Muharram. It's because it's a commemoration and a celebration of the victory of Prophet Musa over Fir'aun, the people over Fir'aun. This is going to be Tuesday, and we have a lecture and we have a potluck inshallah on Tuesday for Ashura, for the 10th of Muharram. But this is talking about this story. Right after they were saved from Fir'aun, they saw a miracle in front of their eyes. Allah granted them victory. What did they do? Some of them started worshipping a golden calf. So a golden calf. And now they're being told to sacrifice a cow. What kind of cow? What color? Yellow. Bright yellow. Right? It's a bright yellow, like almost like gold-like cow. So this was, the scholars explained, this was a kind of a way of hitting them back. Allah basically saying, you know what? You are the same people who were either allowing or worshipping a golden calf just before, and now you're arguing again. You say, you know what color you get? You get the same color that you were, the sin that you were doing. And then they're still not content. And they went and they asked a third question. And they said, we still don't know. There's so many cows out there. What should we do? And then he explained back after making dua. Allah says it's a cow that is not working too hard and doesn't do this and doesn't do that. It gives more explanations. And there was only like one cow left in the whole area that they could sacrifice. There's an important lesson to learn here. But sometimes people learn the wrong lesson. Sometimes I've seen this in this masjid. I've had people come to me and there's somebody, I'll give you an example of actually what happened here in this masjid. Somebody came and asked a question about something about wudu. Say, you know what, Sheikh, if this happens, if I do this, does it break my wudu? And before I could even answer the question, I was going to tell the person, I don't even remember what it was. It's something, does it break my wudu? When I'm making wudu, do I have to do this part or do I not have to do this part? Before I could give an answer, somebody else said, Astaghfirullah, why are you asking the question? You're like the people of the Baqarah, asking questions. No, asking a question about the detail of how to make wudu, or how to pray, or how to fast, or what breaks your fast, or how to perform hajj, or how you're supposed to wear your ihram, or how you're supposed to, what kind of sandals do you wear for ihram? This is not the questions that are in the same category as the people who were asking the questions to Prophet Musa. There's a very big difference. The first and most important difference is the niyyah, the intention. The intention of these people who were arguing with Prophet Musa in the Baqarah story of the cow, they did not have the genuine, sincere intention. They say, we want to make Allah happy. We want to do whatever Allah asks us to do. Therefore, specify a cow for us so we could do that. No, these were argumentative people who were mocking Prophet Musa. And they were saying, are you making fun of us? Are you joking with us? So their question was not sincere and not genuine. If anyone goes and quotes the story of Prophet Musa and the Baqarah incident, and they say you should not study fiqh, you should not study rules of Islamic law and details of, hey, how are you supposed to hold your hands, and do you do this and do you do that, that would be a complete negation of the idea that Islam has details which we're supposed to learn. So we have to be very careful about getting the right morals from the story. So the first thing that they were lacking was the sincerity in the intention. Right? Their intention was wrong. And the second thing that was lacking is that Allah basically was telling them, all I'm asking you to do is do this, and I'm not putting any requirements on you. But they kept on mocking, and because of their transgression, because of their sin, because of their bad intention, Allah made it difficult for them. You see, sometimes Allah wants you to do something very specific, and you have to ask questions to find out what Allah wants in detail if you don't know. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, إِنَّمَا شِفَاعُ الْعِي السُّؤَالِ, that the cure for ignorance is the question. You're supposed to ask if you don't know details. But if you're arguing for the sake of arguing, you don't really care to know the details. So it's very important for us to remember the intention of why we ask questions should be correct. And number two, if we're trying to figure out what is the ruling of Allah, it's perfectly fine and appropriate and proper and actually necessary to ask questions so you can increase in your knowledge. So we should take the correct lessons from these things. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us among those people. And also a reminder that Ashura is going to be on Tuesday, and it's recommended to fast, and I'll be talking more about that inshallah ta'ala, but it's also recommended to fast in the month of Muharram, and we'll be having a lecture about the incident of Karbala and Ashura and Imam Hussein and his history and all of that stuff inshallah ta'ala. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. Assalamu alaikum.